that smile again.
Show me that smile.
Don't waste another minute on your crying. We're nowhere near the
We're nowhere near
The best is ready to begin. As long as we got
Sometimes the world looks perfect.
Rivalries. They are what feeds every sporting event, political debate, and heck, even the world. We've had some stellar rivalries ranging from Magic versus Bird, Yankees versus Red Sox, and even Canadians versus Maple Leafs. But no rivalry is no better than the one that was born just 3 years ago. That rivalry is the Penguins versus Plans Putin one. Now, rivals come in all shapes and sizes. This one born out of a giant penguin in a major electronics conglomerate that has been in the last year been bought by the leader of the Red Nation, Russia, that man being Vladimir Putin. Now here's some history of this battle of attrition between these two. Penguins the first 2 years have seemed to have dialed up Plans number, both times beating their opponent by at least 35 points. Over the offseason, when Plans felt no other action could be taken, they called upon the only man they felt could lead them to the promised land, and that man was Vladimir Putin. So with a new name, logo, and face of the franchise, will Putin be able to do the one thing that Plans couldn't do, and that's beat Georgia Chill Penguins? This matchup started earlier this week due to a Thursday game. First up for Putin was the kicker Dan Carpenter. Dan has been a godsend so far for Putin, but this week going against a stifling Bears defense, he would put up a goose egg. So after the Thursday night games, the game was locked at 0-0. On Sunday morning, Putin would hope that play from Hillis and Mendenhall would make up for Carpenter's gaffe. Hillis would have a great game and end the day with 19 points. Mendenhall, on the other hand, would put up a respectable 9 points, but not as much as was projected for him. To round out the early games for Putin, Zach Miller would return to the starting lineup, but sadly not make any contribution whatsoever, finishing with just 9 measly yards. On the other side of the aisle, Penguins, they would start the day with Darren McFadden, who would do very little and end with 2 points. Calvin Megatron Johnson would continue his strong year with another double-digit performance and 10 points. Braylon Edwards' 14 points would be the early team lead as of 1 p.m. Chris Cooley would score 9 points despite having Donovan McNabb as his quarterback. The Titans defense would have a great game and finish off with 11 points. And staying in that same game, Robert Owens would put up 11 points as well. So ending the 1 p.m. games, we would have a score of 28-57 in favor of Penguins. The 1 p.m. games would be make or break for Putin. If they could hold off Breeze, they would have a chance with their Sunday and Monday night matchups. The only player going for Putin at the 4 p.m. hour was the Saints defense, who would garner 4 points. The big guns for Penguins would be Steven Jackson and Drew Brees. Jackson wouldn't fare so well, only tallying 5 points. However, Breeze must have stayed this week to really put it to Putin as he scored a season-high 27 points in a rout of the Seahawks. So with those games over, the new score would be 32-89 leading into Sunday night. Now, not all hope was lost for Putin, as they would have 3 players left to make up the 57-point deficit they were in. Deshaun Jackson would be the first up, and everyone was thinking he could put up those points due to the fact that he had such a stellar game last week. However, that would be wrong, as Deshaun would only be able to finish with 5 points. At the end of the Sunday night games, we would have a score of 37-89. Now, Monday night came, and a miracle was needed for Putin, as they needed 52 points to dig themselves out of their hole. Rivers would have 23, and Brendan Lloyd would have 13 to put up a gallant effort. But when all was said and done, the final score would be 73-89. Penguins, for the 3rd straight year, put a Plans Putin team to pasture. With the loss, Putin doesn't give any ground due to the fact that Destroyer lost as well. In the Nacho division, all the top teams won in Week 11, so the 3-way tie for first still continues. In Week 12, Putin will take out his frustration on losing his 8-game winning streak as he plays his own flesh and blood, the isothiocyanates. As for Penguins, they will go head-to-head with the top of the National Division Steelers and try to overtake the top spot as the playoff seedings start to take shape.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. decisions. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.